Hello, Bonsai-YEAH followers. It's me, Roland, again. It's great to have you back in my backyard. I am going to be digging out this Zelkovas Roland that I placed in the ground. I think it was around 4 years ago. They were tiny little, like saplings, I guess. They weren't quite seedlings, but they just grew so much over the past 4 years. I amended this little area of the ground with some good nutrient-rich stuff. And I placed these guys on some tiles that you can just get at your home improvement store. And yeah, and it's time to pull them out. I would leave them in the ground a little longer, but I am planning on moving pretty soon. So they got to come out now. So yeah, so y'all are here to just check it out, and I'll show you the process. Going to get them in a little box, and probably do a trunk drop too. So thanks for checking it out. All right, I'm gonna get started. So they're relatively easy to dig out because, like I said, there's a tile under them that makes the roots go that way. There shouldn't be too many things going straight down. So I'm just gonna go to get this root slayer shovel and just start cutting. Oop, that was part of the tile, that crack. It's okay, they're pretty cheap. This is a great project if you have any extra land in your backyard. I was willing to sacrifice a little spot, and it did pay off, because now I had 10 in here. I had 10 in here, but this is the last one to go. So I have some nice stock already. To be honest with you, had I known then what I know now, I would have done more root work before I put them in the ground. But they still have some pretty decent roots, and it's something that can be fixed with some grafting or air layering, ground layering, things like that. So it's not the end of the world. These things are pretty easy to improve the roots. And this as you can see, the soil is pretty nice and soft. I didn't pack it down when I put this soil in, so that the roots can just be in this nice fluffy soil. So I'm just kind of not even making a trench, just kind of going around, cutting the roots off. Not off, but cutting them at this point. Nice sharp shovel will be really helpful if you have a shovel. Sharpen it. Don't have to be root slayer either. All right, starting to get a little loose. You can see it wiggling there. All right, so now I'm gonna kind of get under it and kind of pop it up a little bit. Probably gonna break the tile and some roots, but that's okay. This is a good time to do it in the evening when the sun's down. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and a little tip for you. So I'm gonna chop it down pretty low. But when you're digging out trees, backyard or in the wild, if you do anticipate cutting low, don't just yet. Leave all this top of the tree. It helps you, gives you like leverage to, it helps you, aids you in getting out of the ground. If you cut it a short stump, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. So leave this tops on. All right, so it's feeling pretty good already. So let's see if I can. I think I did break the tile, but that's fine. Here you go. Some tiles. and I have a root on this side over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and break out the pick mat, the little hand pick. Just find it and cut it, and should be free pretty soon. I think it's on this side right here. Oh, no, that's not it. And this is so nice to be digging in your backyard. You got a water close by, restrooms close by. Like I said, if you have the opportunity, if you have the luxury of having some land to dedicate to this technique, I would strongly recommend it. And it doesn't take a long time, relatively short period amount of time. This is 4 years old, so imagine how it would look in 2 more years, you know? So it just costs you a little labor and some time. You gotta be patient and get yourself a nice trunk. Okay, I think I found the root. It's holding it. Get it here. Is your loppers handy? I think that's it. Oh, no. All right, almost there. All right, there she is. So what I do now, the cool thing about, I'm just renting here, so maybe the next owners can use this for a growing bed or something. Okay, so this is what I do next. I just kind of shake off this dirt, see what I got here. Like I said, I didn't do any fantastic root work before I put them in the ground. I didn't have that knowledge at the time. So we are going to see some problems, I'm sure, but that's okay. So not bad. The tile did its job. Roots grew radially. They didn't grow down, so that's good. I do see some problems here. I mean, it's not the most sexiest root base. Like I said, we can fix that. But not so bad. I mean, it's got some nice taper. I mean, pretty good sized trunk. And this tree did get, I think some squirrels mauled it. So, so that you can look at that as a feature, or I can always air layer it and make the tree right here. But I'm kind of for seeing. I guess I'm kind of. I think I want to see what happens to this tree. This could be really interesting. I know it's not beautiful scarlet trunk, but that's okay. I'll have plenty of more of those. So I'm gonna leave it for now, but I can always air layer here, like I said, later on, make a nice new set of roots, and then I could even leave that there after their layer's done. And let's see. But yeah, so that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and hose this off, and then we're gonna put it in a box. And before that, we're gonna do a little root work. Turn around. That's enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some root work, pull out these weeds here. But what I'm gonna do is cut back, because I have a box. I think it's around a 10-inch by 10-inch square box I built, and I want to get this in there. And these are pretty hardy trees, so I'm not scared to cut back too hard. I'm confident that it's going to be okay, especially if I cut back to where there's a root behind the cut to take over. So like right here, what is for you? So right here, I'm going to go ahead, cut right here, and I always try to keep. I don't like to do straight, just horizontal or lateral chops, because you got to think about how the root's going to look in the pot. So I try to make the cut this way, so that the cut is kind of underneath this part, so that you won't see that and it won't be unsightly in the pot. Get these up. So we cut here, do the best you can. This is the fun part. You're building. It's kind of like we do up on the top. You know, you're building the bones of the roots, I guess. I don't know another way to say it, but get some sharp shears and stuff. So cut right here. If I see any damaged ends that I made with the shovel or whatever when I was handling it, you know, I make clean cuts, because these trees are they're a lot like us, you know. A nice clean cut that they're gonna heal a lot quicker and it's gonna look better, be healthy for the tree. So I'm just going around. See, like right here. Just gonna try to show y'all. So right here, I have no fear of cutting back. This root right here, I have no fear of cutting it back because I have things way closer to the trunk, which is what we're aiming for in bonsai, right? We want to think about the pot that this is going to go in. So I have roots all the way over here, like little fine roots. So the finer the better. So I have no problem cutting right here. Boom. No fear. And you have to know your species, you know. This doesn't, I'm not saying to do this with all trees, but I know Zelkovas are very hardy, and this thing was it was taken care of. It had great soil to grow in. It had, I would fertilize it, so you know, I'm real confident it's a strong tree. So back a little here. And this is the really fun part. This kind of feels like it's really going to start its journey as a bonsai right now. It's going to go in the pot and I'm going to start training it. And I could even, I think there's growers that even do, they do what I'm doing here, and they train it in a box for a few years and they put it right back in the ground to grow the next section of trunk. So all different ways, whatever suits you. So I'm looking at it here. See this big one right here? Got these two right here supporting. So I really don't need this whole thing right here. Kind of give myself a little challenging spot right here. And I'm trying to do my best to keep that angle I was talking about. You try to be mindful of how it's going to look in the pot. Get these roots out of the way. Slow down at the end of a cut so you don't run into any of the roots you want to keep. So there you go. That drastically pushed this tree in, and so I can better fit it in that box that I'm going to make for it. I see a few more areas I want to cut. Quick. Okay, so we have some supporting roots. I'm going to take it back. And this one too, it's pretty. And this is a big ugly mess, but I'm not super worried about it. Because I do think in the future I may do an air layer. So, and honestly I think that'll be below the surface. Probably gonna bury the tree up to in this area right here where my fingers are. So I'm not too concerned about this, you know. And I can come back later and further clean up the roots. But try not to miss opportunities, because you only get to do this once a year when you're the trees are dormant. So you know, take advantage of it, and every year I think your goal should be improving the roots. I mean, well, you know, not every year, but if it needs to be repotted, take advantage and do your best to fix any problems with the roots. So I'm okay with that. But that looks okay for now, and I think it's going to fit in that box. There. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and build the box.
Yeah.